Hello, people. Oh, let me get my co-host right here. My little bobblehead. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Never thought to see Steve Austin in a. Look at those abs. Never thought to see Steve Austin in a devotional, did you? Alright, guys, it's Friday. Last night I had my Zoom meeting. It went good. Thank you to the students who came and participated in that. We're going to have another one, as far as I know, next week. It's probably something we'll keep doing even when we get back to normal. Kind of enjoy meeting with the students who can't come regularly on Wednesdays and got extracurriculars. Hey, guys, we're still stuck. We're still at home. We're still trying to live this new way normal of not going anywhere but the grocery stores and doctors. And even then, you're not going as much. Once again, my wife's at work because she's deemed essential by the state of Maryland. So we don't live too far from Washington County where she works at. So it's not like it's that far of a drive out of West Virginia for her. So be in prayer for those people who have to go to work, gas station people, nurses, doctors, people who work at grocery stores, trash pickup, postal workers. Be in prayer for the teachers. They're trying to get students to go take class online. That can be difficult. They're going through new guidelines. Be with our leaders, and all this stuff going on. Our presidents, his advisors, our governors, trying to figure out what's the best way to go with opening up the economy back up, but also being safe at the same time. So, as I said, I had a Bible study on Zoom last night. A good group of the kids were there. And we talked about Luke chapter 7. First 10 verses. Most people, when you open the Bible, they got the cute little headings. The cute little heading here is the centurion faith. So, a quick rundown on some of the players that we're going to talk about. The centurion, obviously, a leader, a Roman leader, is basically who he is. And this Roman leader had slaves. Now, some versions might even call them servants, which is a much better term nowadays. Better than call them servants than slaves, because slaves got, especially now, it's got a negative connotation. But my version says slaves. So, just keep in mind that's not what you think. Some slaves or servants could have been treated badly, but they were basically hired hands, and a lot of them were treated really well, and things like that. We also have Jesus in this story. Jesus just spoke to a bunch of people. He goes to this place in Capernaum, north of the Sea of Galilee. So this is the setting. We also have Jewish elders, which is really the church people. And that's going to be a very important part of this version of the story. And then we also have the centurion friends, and we'll see what role they play. So I'm going to read out the book of Luke, as I said, chapter 7, verses 1 through 10. Keep in mind, the book of Luke was written more in the Gentile point of view. That was way of saying that really the non-church people who didn't go to church, non-Jewish, is technically what they were back in there. And Matthew 8, 5 through 13 is a similar story, but is written more of a Jewish point of view, more the church people point of view. So we have two different points of views here. Now that matters because what we're going to read in Luke, Luke might leave some stuff out that, the Jewish people want to hear, and vice versa. I mean, Luke's probably going to say something that is going to more apply to Gentiles than Jewish people. Luke's going to say something more to people who probably don't go to church or don't understand what Jesus is all about. instead of two people who understand. Or Luke is trying to explain Jesus to people who don't know who he is, who doesn't know the full story. I think I just said that. So we're going to read Luke. I'm going to read Luke 1, 2, and 3 right now. Verses 1, 2, and 3 in Luke chapter 7. When he had concluded all his sayings and hearings of the people, he entered Capernaum. A centurion slave who was highly valued by him was sick and about to die. When the centurion heard about Jesus, he sent some Jewish elders to him, requesting him to come and save the life of his slave. Okay, so as I said, Jesus, that's what we see in verse 1. He entered Capernaum. The centurion slave, he was a highly valued guy. And we learned the centurion was also a highly valued guy. He was sick and dying. And in fact, in Matthew 8, it says he was paralyzed and in agony. So we kind of know the situation in Matthew 8. He was paralyzed and in agony. So that's what he was sick of, and he was about to die. When he heard that Jesus walked in, he sent Jewish elders. Now, why is that important? Well, Jesus was a Jew, and who better to go tell Jesus that, hey, we need you, than somebody who's probably more like his people. Hey, Jesus is a Jew. Hey, Jewish elders, would you please go tell him that my servant is sick and need to be saved? Would you please go tell him that? I'm pretty sure it'll take more stock in you. So, there's a reason why he sent those. Sorry guys, I got a phone call. I'm on my phone. So verse 4. We're going to read verses 4 through, let me put my notes. I got notes. 4 through 6. Okay. This is Jewish elders. When they reached Jesus, they pleaded with Jesus, earnestly saying, He is worthy for you to grant this, because he loved our nation and built our synagogue. Jesus went with them, and when he was not far from the house, the centurion sent his friends to tell him, Lord, don't trouble yourself, since I am not worthy to have you come under my roof. So, as we read before, the centurion sent the church leaders, the Jewish elders, to go talk to Jesus. He went. And the elders even earnestly said, hey, this guy is worth it. Now, was a centurion Jew? Probably not. More than likely he wasn't. But he knew these guys, and the guys knew him, and they even said, hey, look, they said, Jesus, look, this centurion guy, he's worthy of your time. He's worthy for you to grant this, because he loved our nation. He built us a synagogue. He does love us. We love him. So Jesus went with them, and the house not far. And when Jesus got to the house, the centurion apparently had some buddies over there, sent his friends out and said, hey, he said this, look, don't trouble yourself coming in here. I'm not worthy for you to come into my roof. This shows the humility of the centurion. Even though he knew that Jesus could heal because that's why he reached out to the Jewish leaders. He knew that this can happen. Good stuff can happen. His servant could be healed, but still didn't feel like Jesus was worthy to come under his roof. So verses 7 and 8, we're going to read these. This is going to be good. I'm actually going to start on the last half of verse 6, because it kind of goes all together. Okay? Lord, this is the centurion or his friends talking to Jesus. Lord, don't trouble yourself, since I am not worthy to have you come under my roof. That is why I don't even consider myself worthy to come to you. This is why he sent some friends out. But say the word, and my servant will be cured. That shows his faith. He says, say the word, and I know my servant will be cured. He knew the power of Jesus because he's heard about it. Jesus probably had a lot of people follow him already. So he knew that his servant could be cured because of what Jesus has been doing. For I too am a man placed under authority, having soldiers under my command. I say to this, go, and he goes. I say to another, come, and he comes. And to my slave, do this, and he does it. So he's kind of getting a little credibility, I guess. He's saying, hey, Jesus, I got a boss. I listen to him. I try to do my best. I also got people under me. They do a great job. They listen to me. When I say go, they go. When I say come, they come. And my slave, when I say do this, he does this. These are good people I work for. He's trying to tell Jesus that, hey, I'm not a bad guy. So, here is the great part of the story. The part that this story is really all about. Jesus heard this and was amazed by him, was amazed by the centurion. Turned to the crowd. This is why we think Jesus had a group of people following him, because it said he turned to the crowd following him. He said, I tell you what, I have not found a great faith even in Israel. A great faith even in Israel. And that ends verse 9. So he looks at the crowd. He basically uses the centurion man as an example and says, look, not even amongst my people that I have found a great faith like this, even in Israel. Now let me read verse 10 and kind of close Luke up. All right. When those who had been sent returned to the house, they found that the slave was in good health. So he sent his friends back. The slave was in good health because he was healed by Jesus, even though, from what I understand, in both Matthew and Luke, that he probably didn't even see the slave. So some thing I do want to mention, if you read the Luke, the Matthew 8 version, you see Jesus said a lot more at this time. He still says, I assure you have not found anyone in Israel with such great faith. Similar things what they said, and there were two people probably writing it all down, like news reporters. Okay, he said this. Unless my writing was not that good. We didn't have computers and, stuff like that. He also goes in and he basically tells a lot of what I call churchy words in 11 and 12, I tell you what, this is Matthew 8, 11, and 12. I tell you many will come from the east and west, reclining at the table of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, in the kingdom of heaven. But the sons of the kingdom will be thrown into the eternal darkness, in the place in the place where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. We're not excluding this. Luke excluded this part because, as I said, Luke was talking to Gentiles. Okay, Gentiles, we don't need to know this right now. All right, we don't need to know this. Jewish people, church people, maybe we need to know this. We need to know this. That's why Matthew did it. So there's 3 takeaways that comes to this. We see Jesus will make time for anyone. It doesn't matter if you're a part of the church, if you're not, Jesus will make time for anyone. We see the humility of the centurion. In both accounts, he tells Jesus one way or another that you're not worthy to come in my house. Ephesians 4:2, be humble and gentle. That's what it begins with. So we saw the centurion being humble and gentle. And we also need to show our faith. Because of the centurion showing his faith, his servant was healed. His servant was okay at the end of the day. And that's important because what we're going through now, some of us may be tortured right now. going through a time where we have to stay home. We can't go to Walmart. Can't take your significant other or dates. Us high school seniors, prom, high school, graduation. What is college going to look like next year? Us baseball fans, we want baseball. You basketball fans, you already missed out one major tournament in March, and you might miss out another one in June. Who knows? Essential employees, you don't know if you go out and you're going to catch the virus and pass it on to your family. There's tons of uncertainty, but the faith that we show through this time is really going to show how Jesus really, or how Jesus really feels about our country, how Jesus really feels, and us showing the faith is really going to make us strong in the faith that Jesus can take care of us. That God will wrap His arms around us, and that's why it was important to talk about this faith of the centurion. Because, like I said, 3 takeaways: Jesus will make time for anyone. We must be humble, and we must show our faith, because good things will happen when that happens. When all that happens, all right, guys. This is my bodyguard, Steve Austin, and we'll do this again next week. Y'all be in prayers for everything I mentioned at the beginning of this video, and y'all take care, be safe, don't touch your face, wash your hands. When you go grocery shopping, be careful. All right, y'all take care. Love y'all. See y'all later.